am with Paul Fox, the founder and chairman of Claymore Solutions. Paul, well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Now, of course, Paul, we are here in Manila, the Philippines, for Sigma Asia. And one thing that I want to ask you is the Special Class Business Processing Outsourcing, or SCBPO. Now, I'm sure some in the industry have heard of it. But for those hearing that term for the very first time, can you tell us what SCBPO is?
Sure. It's for any gambling company that wants to outsource their operations to the Philippines. So all the back office roles, customer service, risk, fraud, trading, payments, QA, BI, IT, HR, you name it, the Philippines is the best place to do this work. And PAGCOR have not a license because we don't take bets, it's an accreditation so that that work can be done here legally. Philippines is the BPO capital of the world. So my company, Claymore Solutions, we have the SCBPO accreditation. There are 7 in total, but we're the only one that has the employer of record business model, meaning we operate to help other companies access the labor market here without any of the challenges or headaches that come alongside trying to get your own accreditation and setting up your own local entity and office space and all these things. We take care of that for you so that all you have to focus on is your team and your operation.
Wonderful. Now, can you tell us what is, the status of SCBPO in the Philippines right now?
So SCBPO was created, a lot of people don't know this, but it was actually created in the same executive order as POGO back in 2017. POGO was, of course, banned last year. But with SCBPO, like I mentioned earlier, we don't take any bets. We don't process any payments. The only thing we do is the back office work. So much like any other BPO in the Philippines, just for gaming. So SCBPO, I think, is the future, and it will be here for the longest time because at the end of the day, it's about providing good jobs for Filipinos with reputable, internationally licensed companies.
I like that you mentioned earlier that the Philippines is the BPO capital of the world. We have tons of talents here that can cater the SCBPO market. I want to ask you, aside from the Philippines though, what are other markets or jurisdictions or countries do you think are also, something that can tap SCBPO industry for their market as well?
Absolutely none. The Philippines is the only one. So when it comes to outsourcing, the 2 big countries are India and the Philippines. But in India, online gaming is illegal. So even if you're not targeting the Indian market, but you're just using India for outsourcing, that is at best dark gray. Whereas in the Philippines, it's completely legal. So the Philippines has no competitors in that regard. And I think it's particularly important for companies that are publicly listed or have aspirations of listing publicly, because given that it is completely legal here, that's something that they can actually say to the market. And typically, the market likes when you cut your operating costs, which is, of course, what you do when you outsource to the Philippines.
Well, I guess it's also important to mention that the SCBPO industry has a lot of support from the government. Of course, you mentioned PAGCOR, the gaming regulator of the country. It also has backing from lawmakers as well in the Philippines, and I think with other industry. Do you think this is the future of outsourcing?
For the gambling industry, absolutely, yes. We all saw the issues and challenges with the POGOs, but what we have now is a very clear distinction that SCBPO is very separate. So even some of the senators who were very critical of the POGOs, they've come out in favor of SCBPO because they can see that these are reputable companies. They're internationally licensed, so there's no bets taken here, no payments made here, and they just employ Filipinos. Because one of the big criticisms of POGOs was that the staff were all primarily foreign nationals. Whereas with SCBPO, it is mandated that 90% of the staff have to be Filipino. So it's about providing high quality jobs for Filipinos with reputable companies.
Wonderful. Now I have to ask you this. iGaming operators, gaming operators are watching this interview right now. What is your tip if they're looking for an SCBPO company in the Philippines to work with?
So there are only 7 SCBPOs that exist. The initial one was Entain. Entain have the engine room of their entire business here in the Philippines. They've got over 2,000 staff. William Hill would be the second, another household name, and there's a few smaller ones. My company, Claymore Solutions, we are the only SCBPO with the employer of record business model. So all of the other SCBPOs, they're what we would call captive centers. So it's just Entain in the Philippines serving Entain in the UK. Whereas with ourselves, we have no gaming brand ourselves. We are just the employer of record. So what I would say is for any international gaming companies out there that are looking to cut their operating costs, it can be a very long and arduous process to establish your own business in the Philippines, to go through the SEC, to get all your business permits, to try and get your own accreditation and leases and all these types of things. It's very challenging, very complex. We take care of all of that so that you don't have to, so that all you get is an invoice at the end of the month saying, okay, this is your staff, this is your office space, and everything's taken care of. So we make it easy to access the labor force in the Philippines, which I believe, without a shadow of doubt, is the best in the online gaming industry. There's a reason that so many gaming companies have based their operations here, because the talent is here and the experience is here. The industry's existed in this country for over 20 years now. So there's a real wealth of talent here.
All right, now, well, I have to ask you this. What do you think? So we're here at Sigma Asia. What's your view? What's your outlook for the Philippines and the broader Asian region's gaming ecosystem?
For the Philippines, I think PAGCOR have done a phenomenal job in trailblazing and leading the way. The Philippines is the only country in the region that actually legislates and regulates for domestic online gaming with the POGOs. We all know that people gamble. People gamble everywhere, whether it's legal or illegal, people are going to gamble. And the PAGCOR have had the foresight and the vision to actually regulate it and do it legally here. So there's player protections and responsible gaming and all these types of things. And I think that's a model which other countries in the region, like Thailand, for example, or Vietnam perhaps, that they should look towards to try and replicate. Obviously a lot more challenging when it comes to Muslim countries such as Indonesia or Malaysia, who realistically I don't think ever would. But certainly for the likes of Thailand, who have long spoken about casinos in the industry, the Philippines is the model use case to look towards.
Well, I really appreciate your insight, Paul. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you.